If you've ever wanted to create your own personalized animated GIFs to use on your Instagram stories or in your TikTok videos, then this tutorial is for you. I have a lot of draw with me style videos already on my channel where I show you how I create sets of animated GIFs, but in this tutorial I'm going to break it down step by step and show you exactly how to create an animated GIF using Procreate. So if you've never created a GIF before or you're a complete Procreate beginner, then keep watching because this tutorial is for you. Before we dive in, I'm going to quickly answer some questions about what you might need in order to get your GIF searchable on Instagram stories or in the TikTok search bar. First of all, to create a GIF, you're obviously going to need Procreate and a device that Procreate is compatible with. The second thing that you're going to need is a GIPHY account. GIPHY is the website that powers the GIF search bar on both Instagram and TikTok. So if you want your GIFs to become available to be used on Instagram stories, in other people's TikTok videos or Instagram Reels, then you're going to need to upload them to GIPHY and create a GIPHY account. GIPHY have loads of guides on their website that walk you through exactly what you need to do in terms of setting up your own account so that it qualifies to be searchable anywhere that the GIPHY search bar is used to power GIF searches. So with that out of the way, let's actually look at what we need to do to create an animated GIF. I've got my iPad here ready to use. If you're wondering what iPad I use, I have an iPad Pro 12.9 inch, so that's the biggest size of the iPad Pro. If you're just getting started and you're considering getting an iPad, you definitely don't have to go for the Pro. Procreate is compatible with any iPad that is compatible with the Apple Pencil. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up the Procreate app. So inside in Procreate, I have a stack inside of my Procreate gallery. A stack in Procreate is basically like a folder, and I have a stack that has all of the different GIFs that I've created. If you want to see how I created some of the GIFs that I have in here, you can go back in my channel and watch some of my seasonal GIF draw with me videos, and I'll have linked some of them down below as well for you. So to get started, we're going to need to set up our canvas. I personally prefer to work on a square canvas, so that's a 1-to-1 ratio canvas, but this isn't actually necessary, and I'm going to show you why that is later on when we get to preparing our GIF for exporting. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a square canvas here. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my layers menu and I'm going to turn off the background. You want to make sure that the background of your GIF is transparent so that it has that sticker effect. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into our settings menu. We're going to tap on our canvas settings and we're going to turn on animation assist. When we turn that on, it's going to pop up this new menu down the bottom of our screen, and this is our animation assist toolbar. There's a couple of things that we can adjust in here by clicking on the settings. So whether we want the GIF to play in a loop, if we want it to ping pong, which means it plays from one end to the other and then back to the beginning, or if we just want it to play once through. Preferably for uploading a GIF to GIPHY, you're going to want to have it set to loop or ping pong. You want it to be a continuous GIF. You don't want it to just play through once, because then it's not going to continue to be animated on someone's video. You can also adjust the frame rate, which is the speed that the GIF moves, but we'll have a better look at this when we've created our animation. Onion skin, frames, and opacity basically is how you adjust how much of the layer or the frame underneath the one that you're working on you can actually see. So this is really helpful if you're creating an animation or a GIF where something is moving, because you can see the position of the illustration in the layer underneath. So I'm going to create a really simple shape GIF today so that you can see just the mechanics of how to do this. So I'm going to grab my favorite brush here from the brush menu, which is the script brush, and I'm going to set it to yellow. If you wanted, you could sketch out your GIF concept first, but I'm just going to go straight in and I'm going to create a circle. And I'm going to press and hold to open my shape tool and make sure that this is a perfect circle. Then I'm going to fill in this circle and I'm going to center it to my canvas. So I'm going to create like a smiley face GIF so that it's just a really simple shape and image for us to work with. On top of this smiley face, I'm going to create another layer. Now, because I don't want this layer to be animated separate to the one that I already created, I'm going to create a group. When you are creating anything in Animation Assist, if you want two objects to move at once, you need to have them inside in a group. So I'm creating a separate layer to create the facial features for my smiley face, but I want that to move with the yellow circle that I've already created to be the smiley face. So I'm grouping those two layers together so that they become one frame in my animation. So into this new layer inside in the group, I'm going to add in the facial features for my smiley face. Okay, so there is my little smiley face character. Now I'm ready to actually start animating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate that whole group. So that's going to create a second frame that looks exactly the same as the first one. I obviously want this GIF to be animated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my move and resize tool by clicking on that cursor icon in my menu, and I'm going to use this little green circle here to rotate the smiley face. So I'm going to rotate him slightly to the left, and then I'm going to duplicate him again, and I'm going to rotate him back to the middle. Then I'm going to duplicate him a fourth time, and I'm going to move him over to the right. Now I can tap on play and see what this is going to look like. So obviously, because I haven't adjusted my frame rate, it's going to play pretty quickly. So I can now see the effects of this frame rate toggle bar here in the menu. The more I dial it up, the faster the animation is going to move, and the more I dial it down, the slower it's going to go. For creating simple animated GIFs like this one for use on GIPHY, I recommend working between 3 and 5 frames per second. You don't want it to be so fast that the little details aren't noticeable. 3 to 5 frames per second is kind of that sweet spot in terms of how quickly you want a GIF to move. All I've done to create this animation is simply rotate my different groups of layers for each frame. I could also do something like actually move it. So I'm going to delete these little rotations that I did, and I'm going to start with that base group again. I'm going to duplicate him, and I'm going to move him up slightly, and then I'm going to duplicate it again and move it up slightly, and duplicate it one more time, move it up to the top of the frame. Then I'm going to duplicate it again and move it back down. And my snapping guides are going to be really helpful here because it's going to click it to the previous layers, and you can also start to see those onion frames of where the layers are underneath. The more I duplicate it and the smaller I make these movements, the more seamless this kind of up and down movement is going to look when I animate it. Going back up again because I want to get it back to that starting place of that first group, which I think should be roughly here. So now when I press play, instead of rotating over and back, he's actually going to move up and down the screen. This time you can see that at 4 frames per second, this is actually slightly too slow for this animation. So I'm going to dial the animation up. Can actually go as far as 7 or 8 this time, and you can see that now it looks a little bit smoother in terms of the movement because the frames aren't moving too slowly. So that's another effect that you could do. You could do exactly the same and get the animation to move left to right. You could resize the layers so that the smiley face gets bigger and smaller. The thing about creating a GIF with Animation Assist inside in Procreate is that just the smallest adjustments to your different layers or your different frames is going to create the animation, and you don't have to make it super complicated for yourself, especially if you're starting out. The next step here would be to export this GIF so that it's ready to upload to GIPHY. While I'm not going to go through the uploading to GIPHY process in this video, I am going to share with you one more tip in terms of what you can do in Procreate to make sure that your GIF is going to look best and retain its quality when it's uploaded to GIPHY. So GIPHY doesn't like too much negative space around your GIFs or animation. So what I mean by that is this empty space that is at the side of my canvas here where my smiley face is going up and down. There's no movement happening for my GIF on the left or right hand side of this canvas. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use my crop and resize tool to crop out as much of that negative space as I can. I'm not going to crop all the way into the GIF because GIPHY is also quite particular that there does need to be some empty or negative or transparent space in your GIF in order for it to qualify as a sticker when you upload it. But if we leave too much negative space either side of the animation, what's going to happen is that when you upload it to GIPHY, GIPHY is going to resize it a little bit to account for that negative space on either side of this particular GIF. And you're going to end up with a slightly pixelated, smaller sized sticker when you add it to an Instagram story or to a TikTok video. So my top tip here is that no matter what your GIF movement is, before you export it, crop your canvas down so that it's just at the edge of your different frames and there's not too much negative or transparent space left over. Finally, we are ready to export and save our GIF. To do this, we're going to click on our settings menu again, and this time we're going to click on the share menu and we're going to click on animated GIF. Animated GIF is going to maintain the transparent background and you get a little preview of what it's going to look like. Finally, all you have to do is tap to export and save this GIF to your camera roll. You can upload your GIFs directly to GIPHY from your camera roll on your iPad, or you can airdrop your GIFs over to your laptop or MacBook and follow the process from there. I've also linked the GIPHY guidelines in the description below, so you can go ahead and read those and get all of the information to make sure that your GIFs and your profile qualify to be searchable in the GIPHY search bar on TikTok or Instagram stories. Let me know in the comments if you found this tutorial helpful, and if you have any questions about Animation Assist or creating GIFs in Procreate, leave them down below and we can troubleshoot them together. If you liked this video, be sure to click the thumbs up, and if you want more Procreate tutorials, go ahead and click that subscribe button also. If you want to see a little bit more of a step-by-step process of uploading your GIFs from your camera roll or your files to GIPHY, then go ahead and watch this GIF Draw With Me tutorial. At the end of that video, I show you how I upload my GIFs onto GIPHY, and I share with you some other tips about setting up your GIPHY profile. That's all from me today, and I'll be seeing you in my next video.